Hey everyone. If you are setting up conferences for your synchronous classroom, you want to go into Canvas and your class dashboard. And first you want to make sure that conferences are available for your students. So as you can see from me, right now it is not visible. So I have to go to Settings and then Navigation, and then I will enable conferences. Make sure you save. And now you will be able to click on conferences and start recording and saving. Conferences, if will go into one of two places, new conferences or concluded. When you click on a new conference, for your name, I suggest you always have the date. So Saturday the 14th, and then maybe the class period if you have different conferences for different class periods. You always want to click enable recording for this conference. And then you want to decide who are you going to invite. So in my morning classes, I have 60 some students and I don't want them all to attend the same conference. So I might be only choosing a few students that I want to invite. Now it is a little bit time intensive in creating the conferences for each set of students, but you can have it set up. So maybe I want this to be for Tuesday, let's say this Tuesday, 14, 15. Let's say it's the 17th. So I can create the conference to happen later. I don't have to start it once I have made it. So I can do that. I can set it up for all of my students, and then I can just press go when it's time to go. So update, and then there it is. Now this conference doesn't start until I hit start as a teacher. Once I hit start, then it begins. One of the first things that they will do is, how would you like to join? I will say allow the microphone since I'm the one that is running the conference. There will be an echo test to see if your audio is working, if it can be heard. And then you'll either press thumbs up or thumbs down. So since I can hear myself, thumbs up.
You are currently the only person in this conference.
Now you want to start your conferences a little bit before the students start. So if my conference is set for 11, I might want to begin it at 11:55, just to make sure that my technology is working. At the bottom of the main screen, you can share your webcam. That will allow students to see you if you would like them to see you. So there you would be. I am not going to do that though for this, but your webcam would appear above the big blue button. On the left-hand side is where your students would be. All right, so now you'll see that there are two people in my conference, and this person is not talking right now. They don't need to talk. So I am going to mute the user. So no, they can no longer, I can't hear their background noise.
You are now muted. You are now unmuted.
Sometimes our students will forget to do that, and then there'll be a lot of feedback. So that's a nice thing to be able to do. I can also send them a private message if I have a question or if I want to check in to make sure they are paying attention and active in class. The public chat is where students can message the whole class and something that would apply to everyone. And then this would be where all of my documents are. Now, I would recommend that before, again, your students attend, you want to upload any file, any presentation that they need to see. So I am going to upload these 3 documents. And this moves those documents from your computer to sort of the Canvas, the conference database area. So it's easier to access. So because Welcome Day 1 is checked, that's the one that's going to show up. But these 2 are going to be ready to go for whenever I need them. This process can take a while, especially if your document is big, which is why you want to make sure that you do this ahead of time. So now when my students show up, they're going to see this information. Before they begin, I'm also going to want to hit start recording. This is very important. If you don't hit start recording, students aren't going to be able to access that information again. And especially if you're in a small group, you want to make sure you are recording those sessions with those students. So I'm going to go ahead and start recording my session. Now that the session is being recorded, maybe I have some students coming in, I'll say hello, I'll ask them to mute their microphones, and then if they could, I can use my tools to say, please read this section. So you can mark what you need to mark on your section, on your slides. You can change your colors, you can change the sizes, etc. Now, once my students have read all of my information, things like, remember that if you type in public chat, everyone can see. Please make sure that you announce who you are before you speak. They might have their webcams on, which may or may not be helpful. If there's a lot of students, you might not want them to have their webcams up. Just go over whatever you need them to have. Then I can switch between those documents that I had uploaded. So now perhaps I want to go to key terms and concepts. So I'm going to check the circle and make that my slide. And this process has a little bit of a delay, but it's still much less than if I had to upload the documents and then present them. Now here, I might want different students to respond. So I can turn on the multi-user whiteboard, and then students can reply and put in their examples and information. So this is a nice way of being able to collaborate with students. If I want to turn it off, then I just click that multi-user again and it disappears. With students, I can also ask them a question. So maybe I'll ask, if you finish reading chapter 1, please let me know, yes or no. And then students will see a poll button pop up in the bottom corner of their screen. Now, if they can't click on it, or if they don't see the poll question, which is just the option to say yes or no, they need to click on the 3 little dots, the snowmen in the upper right corner of their screen, to make it full screen. When they make their screen full screen, they'll be able to see the poll questions. At any time that you need to make your screen bigger, if you did have lots of cameras and you're seeing all your students, you can click that middle section up here at that arrow to make that disappear, and then you just click on the public chat to make it come back. If I wanted to send a private chat to one of my students, that is what goes into my middle part. I have a question. And so now, under my messages, I have the option of my private chat with the student or the public chat with the class. When I am done, I can end my recording. And then I should end my session and that meeting. And that will pop everyone out of the session. So even if they didn't end it on their end, they're going to be ended. Their session will be ended by me on the teacher end. And then finally, I want to click end on my conference page to end that conference. Now that conference is moved from new conference to concluded conference. And after a little while, 30 minutes to 2 hours is the longest I've seen it take, this will stop being just text that I can't click to a link. So these top 2 links aren't links, they're just text. I forgot to hit record on them, and so they just exist. However, these bottom 2 have this drop-down option and tells you it's the presentation, the date, how long it was, and when you click on presentation, it takes you to the conference. Now, with your conferences, the only one of the downsides is that you cannot play a slide. You cannot play a presentation during that conference. However, you can share your screen with your students and play a presentation. So
The only person in this conference.
if you do that, you want to click on this option, share your screen. You want to make sure that your slides are ready to go. I'm going to share. And then I'm going to click on that other tab. So now my students are going to be seeing everything that I am seeing. So I can present. And then I can talk them through a presentation just like I would in class. I could also make this a PDF, and then we could go through the PDF together in the conference screen itself. So those are two ways of being able to access some of your some of the different presentations that we have. You'll notice you can also share an external video. And so if there's a YouTube or something that you want to post, you can have that through there, or you could have it in that slide that you are screen sharing with your students. All right, I hope that helps. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to reach out. Thank you.